The US Senate has voted against an amendment which could have ended the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Caleb Morpin has the story.
Each year, the U.S. Congress passes the National Defense Authorization Act, which supplies funding and authorization to the U.S. military for the following year. Now, in the aftermath of the September 11th attacks, the National Defense Authorization Act began to start having a section of it added to it that was called the Authorization for the Use of Military Force. This essentially allowed the United States to carry out military force in the fight against terrorism. Now, U.S. Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky, who is a noted opponent and critic of intervention by the U.S. military around the world. He's been described as an isolationist, a libertarian, and a paleoconservative. He put forward an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act that would remove this section. It would remove the authorization of military force, which has been present for the last 16 years as part of the NDAA. He would have removed it, and essentially his removal would have required the U.S. to start bogging down and restricting its foreign involvement around the world. It would have restricted the war on terror and essentially not allowed the United States and the Commander-in-Chief, the President, to continue authorizing and carrying out these military interventions. Now, not surprisingly, it was voted down, even though there was quite a bit of anticipation in the lead up to the vote. As the votes in the U.S. Senate went down, it was 61 against, 36 in favor. Now, Rand Paul has said that he intends to make a bigger deal out of this. There's talk of potentially a filibuster. He's tweeted out a great deal of frustration, saying, "Where is the anti-war left demanding that the wars end? Where are the constitutional conservatives demanding the right of Congress to reclaim the war powers?" 16 years, this National Defense Authorization Act has included the authorization for the use of military force, and each year it has been passed. Now we're seeing Rand Paul demanding that it be removed, but he has been voted down, and it looks like the National Defense Authorization Act will proceed to go to the House of Representatives without this amendment proposed by Rand Paul.